Greetings YouTube, it's been a while since I've made a video. Back at you with another language video. I try to do more of these while I have a bit more free time, or as most of us have a bit more free time. So just gonna talk briefly today a little bit about a platform I've been using called Italki. But before that, quickly gonna say, still doing the thing with the languages, focusing mainly on Spanish lately, making good progress with that. Probably still at a pre-intermediate stage. It's definitely harder to move forward when you've reached the B levels, like B1, B2, and things like that, pre-intermediate to intermediate. So yeah, I've been working along with that. I haven't done any Russian in a while, but I am doing some Russian now as well, just trying to brush up and try and get to a pre-intermediate stage in that as well, because I've never quite reached that level in Russian, I think. But I've been doing a bit of that lately as well. I'm going to go into why just now as well. So I've been using Italki as a language learner for a while, and recently as well, since the lockdown and the quarantine, I've been doing it as a language teacher now, from a language teacher perspective as well. So I just wanted to talk about a few things today that I think people can do to get a bit more out of their experience and get a bit more out of their money and their time, especially on Italki. So the first thing is you can go on Italki at an absolute zero level in a language. Some people do advocate speaking from day one. That's absolutely fine. However, I think you should probably find some friends online, or stick to, more of the language exchange side of things at the beginning. And then once you get to a level where you can form sentences and have a little bit of a chit chat in that language, then I think you should move on to Italki. But as an absolute beginner, I don't think you'll get as much out of your money and out of your time. Secondly, I think location of the teacher in your target language is important as well to get a bit more out of your money. No matter where your teacher's from, if they're a native speaker, they're going to be just as capable. And, by all means, if you have any particular country or something like that where you think that you like to visit, or a country where your native language is spoken that you've always been generally a fan of, to support teachers from that country. But of course, if you're on a tighter budget, for example, if you're learning Spanish as an example, and you're on a bit of a tighter budget, you can get a bit more out of your money, especially at the beginning, if you decide to look at a country that speaks Spanish with a lower living cost. But once again, if you generally love Spain, I'm sure I do, of course, you can support a teacher or community tutor that is from Spain. But it's just something to get a bit more out of your budget. But once again, it's entirely up to yourself. And then lastly, with time management on Italki, when you're actually on there as a lesson, doing a lesson, I personally think time management from a student perspective, and somebody who teaches on Italki as well as a community tutor, I think I tend to get more out of it as a student when I take control over the lesson. And then of course it seems like people that I've taught, some of my regulars, they tend to manage the time in terms of what they would like to do during a lesson. It's mostly just conversation practice and things like that. People might think of a topic beforehand that they want to discuss, and then of course it's just helping them with their grammar and stuff when they may make a mistake here and there, offering suggestions and things like that. Some people might write something short. I have in the past as well with Spanish. I would write short monologues and go through it with the teacher, get it corrected, and then just spend the rest of the time with a bit of conversation practice. People may prepare questions from movies and things that they watch as well. So it's entirely up to yourself. There's just a few things I've noticed with that I think people can do to get a bit more out of their money and a bit more out of their time on Italki. So yeah, like I said, I'm hoping to continue to make language videos. I've been getting quite a lot of suggestions from people as well to make videos about Bermuda, where I'm from, because I get so many questions in Bermuda, not just on Italki or in language exchanges, but just in general. So I think I'll do some videos of just me talking about my travels, me talking about my home country, and things that I notice as well in my in my experiences as a language student and as a language teacher. So yeah, davai pa cá y nos vemos pronto.